Hi everyone, welcome to my video. SCRT Telangana, Class 9 English, Unit 1, Ring A. This is based on lesson The Snake and the Mirror, Part 2. So in Part 1, we have seen the experience of a homeopath. There he begins with a question asking whether a snake has coiled around any parts of their body. Whether a snake has coiled around any parts of their body. So, from that, what we understand, he might be sharing his experience. So, before he shares, he just wanted to find out from them whether they experienced. And before he began to share his experience, the style of his living and all he has mentioned here. We can see that he was living in a small rented room. Okay, he did not have much possession and all. His earnings were meager, and there was no electricity in the house. It was not a comfortable stay for him there. But even then, as his earnings were meager, as he had no other choice, he was staying there. A lot of rats were there, its noise was there, and one who listens to that would say that both of them shared their room and all. Such was the noise, and so freely they were moving about. Being inside the room, he just made up his bed. He wanted to lie down and take a rest, but what happened? There was no fresh air. He was feeling very warm, so he just went out. He stood there on the veranda, but what happened was that there was no fresh air. So what did he do? He did not remain further for a long time. He just came back to his room. Now we are going to see part 2. I went back into the room and sat down on the chair. I opened the box beneath the table and took out a book, the Materia Medica. I opened it at the table on which stood the lamp and a large mirror. A small comb lay beside the mirror. So, the things that were there on the table. So, he went back and sat on a chair, and in front of him there was a table, and beneath the table there was a box from which he took out a book. Okay, the name of the book is Materia Medica, and he kept it on the table, opened it, he wanted to read it maybe, and in front of him there was a lamp, a large mirror, and a small comb. Okay, now here also a few word meanings are mentioned. You can just go through it, learn the word meanings, and improve your vocabulary. One feels tempted to look into a mirror when it's near. So we all, especially like those who are very much conscious about their beauty, and also they will have the tendency every time take a comb and just run through the hairs and make it straight, look neat and good and all. So he too had the same temptation. So what did he do? He just took a look into the mirror. In those days, I was a great admirer of beauty and I believed in making myself look handsome. So, he believed in making himself very handsome. He wanted to show himself as something good. So, what did he do? He just looked into the mirror, observed him, and he was taking certain decisions. I was unmarried and was a doctor. I felt I had to make my presence felt. So, whenever he moved out, whenever he was going about, he was always going in a decent way, in a neat way, so that when others observe him, they should feel, impressed by his presence. How dignified person he is. That's what he wanted to prove in front of others. I picked up the comb and ran it through my hair and adjust the parting. So what did he do? He just took the comb, he ran it through his hair to make the to parting to be adjusted. No? So to make it straight, to look neat and tidy, to look good, so he just adjusted it. Again, I heard that sound from above. So the same sound. So you will see throughout the lesson it is being repeated. The same sound. So what is the sound? The sound of rats. Okay, the movement, squeaking sound of the rats that he could hear. Now I took a close look at my face in the mirror. So he's, not just enough. It is not just enough for him to adjust the parting. He wanted to further do something. So he just looked into the mirror. He had a close look. I made an important decision. I would shave daily and grow a thin mustache to look more handsome. So, in order to look better, in order to look more handsome, what did he think? He thought of growing a thin mustache and shave daily. I was, after all, a bachelor and a doctor. So, as I was a bachelor and a doctor, I thought, let me make, my mustache very thin and shave daily so that I would look handsome. So, this was the thought of the doctor sitting in front. Further, what happened? I looked into the mirror and smiled. So, still the mirror is there in front of him. So, he just looked at it, and there he felt it was an attractive smile. So, when he observed that and looked into the mirror, and when he saw his own smiling, he felt that his smiling was attractive. I made an earth shaking decision. I would always keep that attractive smile on my face to look more handsome. So, you see, he adjusted the parting, made it look straight and neat. He took another decision of shaving daily and keeping a thin mustache. Now, an important decision he has taken that he would keep an attractive smile on his face. He felt his smile is very attractive. He would keep that attractive smile on his face. I would always keep that attractive smile on my face to look more handsome. I was, after all, a bachelor and doctor too on top of it. So, not just a bachelor, not just a mere impress a few people. He had to impress everyone. So, as he was bachelor and a doctor too, so he had to make his presence felt by others. So he has taken a few decisions such as combing hair, making the parting straight and good. Second thing, shaving daily and keeping a thin mustache. Also, now keeping an attractive smile on his face. Again came that noise from above. Again, the same noise was from above. So, what is that noise? It's the sound of the rats. Sound of the rats moving to and from the beam. Next, we see what happens to him with regarding other decisions. I got up, lit a beedi, and paced up and down the room. So, now he has taken a few decisions about himself. Further, he just got up. He lit a beedi and started walking to and fro, like one from one side to another. Then another lovely thought struck me. Suddenly there was another thought. What is that? I would marry. Of course, a good decision because he's a bachelor, he was staying alone. It would be better to have a partner. So life would be better. He can have food at home, things like that and all. But further, we have to see how his idea goes. I would get married to a woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical practice. So it is not someone just he would marry. He had certain idea in his mind what kind of doctor he would marry. So there he has some idea. What kind of doctor? A woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical practice. So he was only a beginner, and so he thought if he marries a woman doctor who is a wealthy woman doctor having very good medical practice, then his life will be something good, comfortable. So that's the reason, that could be the reason he says, okay. I would get married to a woman doctor who had plenty of money and a good medical practice. Further, she had to be fat for a valid reason. So everyone thinks about marrying a beautiful, slim girl and all. He has not mentioned anything about beauty. He has mentioned about one thing, wealthy. Second thing, he wanted to marry a doctor. And the third thing, who has a good medical practice. Now, the main fourth thing is that she has to be a fat woman. And the reason he says, if I made some silly mistake and needed to run away, she should not be able to run after me and catch me. So she shouldn't be able to come behind me and catch me. I might do some mistakes, some silly mistakes and all. Because of that, she shouldn't be able to run behind me and catch me. If she is fat, then of course it will be very difficult for her to run behind me. So here you can understand, he was first of all very much conscious about his, being handsome. And that's the reason he takes a comb and adjusts the parting. Even before going to sleep, he did that. Then he has taken a few decisions such as shaving daily, keeping a thin mustache, keeping an attractive smile on his face, and now he thinks of marrying. And what kind of person does he need to marry? He wants to marry a woman doctor, okay, who has plenty of money and very good medical practice. Because he is from a poor situation, maybe poor background, he doesn't have much money. So if he marries a wealthy woman, then surely he will have plenty of money. He's only a just beginner, so if he marries a person who has good medical practice, then their life is going to be good. And of course, to make the life better, he has to marry a fat woman so that if he made some mistake, she wouldn't be able to run behind him and catch him. So friends, that's the end of part 2, SCRT Telangana, class 9 English, unit 1, reading A, the snake and the mirror. The rest of the content of the lesson we will see in part 3 and 4. Thank you.